That's complete bull.
Well, Chris, because the internet is forever, I mean, some of those posts from years ago have been republished. Here's one, quote, 6 million Jews were murdered is the biggest lie created in the history of fake Jew history, end quote.
That is,
why would you say that?
Because 6 million people did not die in the Holocaust. If 6 million...
How many did then?
We have no idea of knowing.
Really?
But for them to claim an exact number when it's completely impossible of knowing, it's completely impossible of knowing. And there's lots of different references like the World Almanac that show the population before and after. When Israel was created between 1946 and 1948 with all the stuff that was going on, millions of Jewish people habitated to there. So 6 million people didn't just die, they relocated. So when they say 6 million people, like I said, it's making reference to their biblical prophecy that says once 6 million of us perish, we will get our homeland back. So that's Chris, why they chose the number of 6 million, because it's written in their book. There is no way of knowing how many people died in World War II. For someone to go and say 32 million people died in World War II, that's complete hogwash. So for someone to be able to go and say, especially in concentration camps, that this many people died, a specific number, that's complete hogwash. There's no way of knowing how many people died.
Well,
do we know they were persecuted?
I would dispute
1,000,000%. That's indisputable. Do we know they killed a very large number of people, probably in the millions? Yes. Do we know that they killed 6 million on the dot, or 6 million that number? No, and nobody can prove that, and that's what I am saying.
Well, Chris, have you ever reached out to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Remembrance Center in Jerusalem, who has done incredible decades worth of research? I mean, I've been there several times. I remember a curator once saying when they had the original number, it was 18 million, and then they wanted to be bulletproof. So they went through the records over and over, and sometimes people were double, triple counted, and they whittled it down to 6 million. Now, if you had an agenda to make the Holocaust look worse, you would have gone with the 18 million.
Okay, but
so have you ever reached out to the experts in the field?
Oh, okay. So the experts first said there were 18 million, and then the experts then said there were 6 million. So were they right when they said 18
But they
million?
wanted to be bulletproof.
Oh, so they wanted to. So now, because they said they're really, really sure, that means they're 100%. But first it was 18 million. That's triple the number. Now they're really sure that it was 6 million. Does that mean they're 100% sure?
No, but explain the reason. Some people were counted 3 or 4 times.
That's wonderful. So does that mean that they missed any more that could have been double counted, or some people that were counted that weren't really dead? Does that mean that the 6 million number that they came up with is 100%? Can you tell me? Can we contact them right now and they're going to say the 6 million number is 100%, or will they say it's an estimation? Will they say it's our best estimate?
Well, you know, Chris, it's sad.
I asked you a question. Will they say it's 100%, or will they say it's an estimation? When their previous estimation was 18 million.
They believe this is the most accurate figure.
Okay, they believe, so it's not a figure.
Chris,
it's something that they're literally making up, like I said, and they're saying this is our best guess.
But Chris,
a guess is still a guess. A guess is still something you made up. So when you quote me and say you're denying the experts themselves are telling you this is a number that we're making up based on the information we have available. Based on the information we had available, we thought it was 18 million. Now we're guessing it's 6 million. So that's all I'm saying.
Guessing, it's doing decades and decades worth of research.
That's wonderful.
You've gone to some website.
You can say whatever you want. Regardless, you admitted that it's their best guess.
Well, I didn't say guess.
Their best belief, sorry. A belief is still a guess.
Well, I think based on decades worth of scholarly research.
And now I'm 100% sure that you guys have changed your stripes, because this started about an interview about anti-lockdown, and it turned into let's assassinate the character of Chris Sky and try to make the Jewish community not like him, when I have very high support from the Jewish community, because some of my best friends are Jewish. No, I know exactly what's going on now, David, and now I know why I didn't get contacted by Rebel News for a couple months, and now I also know why you guys got demonetized off of YouTube and you lost all your income, yet somehow you started hiring all these new people and somehow your station keeps growing. And now when I go on your feeds on Twitter and stuff, it reads more like a mainstream media platform instead of the Rebel News of old.
Well,
you guys are starting to disappoint me, David.
No, Chris, listen,
I hope you don't edit this out to make it look, to try to make me look bad. No, Chris,
this actually, this attack on me and my organization.
It's not an attack, it's just an observation.
If I may speak, we have always given you a platform. When we see allegations made, I'm giving you, in all fairness, time to respond to those allegations.
And I did, and you keep trying to push the narrative that I'm a denier and trying to push everything. You even tried to push the narrative that it didn't matter that they lied about Ottawa. You tried to pretend like I didn't show you an email. You said, oh, it could have been anything. You're literally feeding every narrative that they're using to attack me right now, and you're playing into it. So, David, I think I'm going to cut this interview at this, and I don't think I'm going to be talking to Rebel News anymore.
Really?
Have a nice day.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well,
Have a nice day, Dave.
Okay, well, you know, what can I say, folks? We were trying to give Chris an opportunity to refute some of these allegations, some of these social media postings that have been made by him, and I guess he didn't want to pursue that.
Concentration camps that this many people.
The Nazis were pretty methodical.
Oh yeah, I was trying to say that Nazis were great record keepers.
I felt that because we are generally sympathetic to him, we would be a good forum for him to say, oh, that thing I wrote years ago, well, I was just a hothead or I was stupid. But I just watched the tape of you having an argue with him, and he sort of doubled down, and then he stormed out. I asked him these questions, and I saw you ask them. You put them in the gentlest way you could, put such spicy comments by him. I think that pricked that part of his brain that says, push back, don't give an inch.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, there were other comments. We never got to them, of course, because he left. But, you know, comments that could be looked upon as being anti-black, anti-Muslim, anti-gay.
Okay.
And maybe his opinion has changed, you know, in 4 or 5, 6 years, however old these posts are, Ezra. But, you know, what's important, I think, our role here, we're not cheerleaders. For anybody. We're kind of like the umpire behind home plate. We're calling balls and strikes. If it's a hockey analogy, where the linesman's saying onside, offside. And sometimes, you know, I really didn't want to raise this because I like Chris Guy so much. But it's a piece of ugliness, I think. Look, I'm not Jewish myself, but I think, you know, what he said would be deeply offensive to the Jewish community. And it wasn't the only thing. And by the way, as an important thing, this was not a gotcha moment. Several weeks ago, I had a phone conversation, must have been over 20 minutes, on this very subject.
So he knew you were talking about it.
Absolutely. And we also talked about the alleged death threats he's made to Doug Ford and other premiers. This is on the basis of Rob Carbone. Nothing has been proven in a court of law. Chris, of course, denies it. But there were so many things to unpack over the last couple of months. And when he said...
This was your first sit down with him in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I would have interviewed him in Ottawa, but after his speech, he literally ran for the hills because he thought he was about to be arrested by the Ottawa police.
I think one of the reasons why people trust Rebel News so very deeply, and to answer Chris Guy's comment about the money, our funding is 80% crowdfunding. You know that. But I have to be honest with my viewers and say he's doing things that are very wrong, and I would criticize him if it was Rachel Notley. The reason people trust us, I believe, David, and you in particular, you're very authentic, is because we call it like we see. We follow the facts where they lead. We tell the other side of the story. And I like Chris Guy. I don't like what he said on those social media posts. I think it was stupid. I actually don't think he's a racist in his bones. Maybe he is deep in his heart, I don't know. We gave him a chance to deal with these in a non-gotcha way. You are the friendliest journalist in Canada towards him. There's no two ways about it.
Well, you know, and Ezra on the...
But let me just close by saying, our job is not to be his cheerleader. Our job is to tell the story, but we're not his... We're not like in the, you know, those motorcycles that have a little jump seat. We're not the little buddy in the jump seat. Chris Guy will likely remain a newsmaker, and I'm sure you will continue to cover it. He may not even like that, but so what? We cover people who don't like us all the time.